My name is Sheri Melander-Smith, and you're watching Living Forward. The goal of Living Forward is to talk about issues that help people with disabilities and chronic illnesses live the very best life possible. Today we have a really special show. I have with me the chair of the Governor's Council for Developmental Disabilities, Mr. Jeff Pearson. Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you.
And tonight you also have your daughter, Abby Pearson. And we're going to be talking with Abby a little bit later. But for right now, I would like to just begin a discussion with you. If you could please tell me a little bit about the Governor's Council and the program that they put on yearly since
Sure.
I'm not sure what year.
Mm-hmm. The Minnesota Governor's Council for Developmental Disabilities, I should say on developmental disabilities, is it's a federally funded council, and it was formed by the Developmental Disability Act from 1963, which was a program from President John F. Kennedy.
Right.
His sister. What's his sister's name?
Eunice.
Thank you. Eunice Kennedy Shriver was really instrumental in helping him get this act moving. They had a sister who had a developmental disability, and so they felt very strongly about this, and so the work went forward. And by the way, she also founded Special Olympics after.
Oh yeah,
this.
I remember that. She's well known for that. That's,
Very well.
In and of itself is a great achievement.
Yes, very much
Yes.
so.
So the program that they have yearly for people with adults with disabilities and for parents of DD children,
Yes.
are invited to attend a workshop or a learning program called Partners in Policy Making. I was wondering if you could help me understand a little bit better about what that program is and how it came about.
Sure. Well, the two main functions are it's a leadership training program,
Okay.
and for the parents of kids with developmental disabilities, and also for adults with disabilities, so that they can become self-advocates. The second part of that program is to establish relationships with our legislators, both on a state basis and national basis, and also the cities and counties that we live in. Mm-hmm. And that relationship is important to make sure that the right legislation is being done and that people with disabilities are given a fair chance
Absolutely.
to live.
Yes. In fact, with the budget crisis the way it is, I've heard it be said that legislators often balance a budget on the backs of people who have disabilities. So we need to have a strong voice for people with disabilities. So this, in effect, is a leadership training for people with disabilities and for the parents of children who have developmental disabilities. What's the curriculum like?
It's a pretty wide and varied course. It happens on 8 weekends during the year. It starts in the middle of the day on Friday and then ends later in the afternoon on Saturday for those 8 weekends. It starts off with a weekend talking about history, and it goes back a long ways, a couple thousand years, to talk about how people with developmental disabilities have been treated through the years. Mm-hmm. And as you can imagine, some of those treatments are not very good at all.
Yes, and some of it's shocking, actually, but it really helps to put it into context of where people have come as a community and where they're at now. And carrying that history is really important. So
it is.
So that begins with that basic knowledge of understanding about DD.
Yes.
And then it goes on to talk a little bit about, I think, from what I was reading, was a little bit about inclusive education.
Absolutely.
And creating a vision for the future so that each individual with the disability will be able to create a bigger vision for themselves.
Yes, that's true.
And I understand that your daughter, Abby, here is a recent graduate of the program.
Mm-hmm.
She is.
Hi, Abby. So nice to have you here
nice
again.
To see you.
What was it like to be part of the program?
It was really fun. We got to see friends. We got to meet new people, and we got to learn about employment, and we got to learn about housing, and we got to write to our legislators, and we got to go to the Capitol.
Ooh, tell me about going to the Capitol. What was that like? Did you get to meet with your legislator?
Yes, we did, but not for very long because he was in session.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And what were some of the things that you learned about yourself?
I learned that that I know how to do more stuff independently, and I can find and I can do housing and find a job really easily.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Would you recommend it to other people?
Yes, I'd recommend it to other people.
Okay, wonderful. And you were a participant also, so the Abby was had a guardian with her, and that was, so you were able to attend those sessions as well. What were the things what was the biggest takeaway for you from that?
I guess the biggest one would be such an important role in our lives, the lives of those who are touched by people with developmental disabilities. How the government plays such a large role in controlling if there's going to be resources available to help people live independently. One of the founding thoughts of the Governor's Council is an acronym called IPSI, which stands for Independence, Productivity, Self-Determination, Inclusion, and Integration. And those are all things that we're trying to teach people to come away with.
Absolutely.
That they need to be included, they need to be integrated.
Right, and nobody can speak better for yourself than yourself.
Absolutely.
So the next class 29, their classes, as I remember, are starting in September, and they go until May. And if somebody wanted to apply, they could do so online. Can you give the audience members the webpage address if they would like to apply?
Certainly. It's www.mngts, which stands for Minnesota, and then GTS is the agency that puts it on, .org. And then there's a / partners in policymaking. Although if you get to the MNGTS site, you'll find it.
Okay. And then the phone number I have here is 651-222-7409.
That's correct.
So, well, I thank you so much for joining me here today. Thank you, Abby. It's been a pleasure
Thank
having
you.
you on. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. So that's our show for today. Be sure to watch next month when I have on the beautiful girls from Pageant of Hope who will be sharing their experience from the 2011 Pageant of Hope. That's all for now. Bye-bye.